Spiritual awakening. Luckily, since the 1990s here in the West, we have had a clear milestone in pop culture that clearly encapsulates the process of spiritual awakening. I am referring to the movie Matrix, and in particular, the scene in which the protagonist Neo is offered two pills. This scene says, "Take the red pill and you will see reality as it really is, or take the blue pill and you will fall asleep, wake up in your bed the next morning, and everything will be the same as before." The latter variant is certainly the more comfortable situation, and in my opinion, also what society wants. We are a materialistic society. Productivity and performance are required. You are required to give something back to this society. I was once seriously asked by a befriended police officer if I wanted to do just that. Giving back to society in his sense. Finally learn a job in my early 40s and stop producing art. No one can stand that, he mentioned, but me could. And I went on with it, with being myself. In the country where I live and grew up, there is a weak form of spirituality. In fact, it is not a form of spirituality at all. It is BS. Culturally and historically, Germany has been particularly influenced by the two churches, and they have both worked hard in our region for 300 years to show the limits to all spiritually differently oriented and or developed individuals. The Inquisition, which people like me also like to call the burning times, was ethnic cleansing. And only through this cleansing could our culture develop in its current direction. Patriarchal, narcissistic, cold and spiritually dead in the broadest sense. Mystery cults and initiation systems that had their origins in ancient Greece, for example, and which traditionally worked for thousands of years to provide spiritual initiations to serve searching individuals, were forced to operate underground and to protect themselves using degree and password systems. Heresy was punished by death. What was left is a society characterized by ora et labora, pray and work, whose spiritual leadership, preaching in churches, is hopelessly overwhelmed by any form of natural and living so-called supernatural phenomena, and the only answer they have is their erected index finger. And you better pray it's only their finger. As a child, I was always bored in the so-called services of the Protestant Church. Intuitively, I knew from the start that something was wrong. When the bearded man with the deep loud voice at the desk in confirmation class was running out of answers for my questions and didn't know what to do next with arguments, he raised his voice authoritatively and ended the discussion. At this point, I ended my appreciation for bullshit. The following lines will be about my personal spiritual awakening.